Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I was just doing an audio check with you.
I can hear you.
Great, perfect.
Good morning and welcome to our regular Tuesday meeting of the RLC Gaming Task Force. Glad to have all of you back. I know we had a busy day yesterday and we'll talk about that shortly. First, I want to note that we have certified for lack of a quorum the necessity for this teleconference. We have filed the appropriate notarized statement and we'll be meeting in this fashion. Do I have a motion to waive reading of the minutes and approve from our meeting of May the 12th?
So moved.
Barry moves. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was the second?
Dan.
Stan. Thank you, Stan. Any objection? Without objection, the minutes are approved. So yesterday was a big day, guys, and I started monitoring from the time that businesses opened in the morning. Oh, we need to do a roll. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Natalie, would you call the roll? Make sure we do have a quorum. I get ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Chairman Jones.
Here.
Dan Reel. Arthur Lawson.
Here.
Baron Fuller.
Here.
Barry Regula.
Here.
Charlie Gardner. Christopher Hebert.
Present.
Major Chuck McNeil.
Here.
David Sickey. Earl Barbary. Mike Lejeune. Ned White.
Here.
Roseanne Thompson.
I'm here.
Stan Guidros.
Here.
Dr. Thomas Leviste. Trey Tantillo.
Here.
Trudy Smith.
Present.
Vincent Schwartz. Wade Duty.
I'm here.
You have a quorum.
Great. We have a quorum. We can conduct business. I'll quit trying to get ahead of myself. And I think Vincent's on the call. I think I saw him up earlier. He may be away from the screen, but we should hear from him. There, I see you, Vincent. You're here, right? Okay. I think you didn't unmute, but that's okay. So we also are glad that Don Pearson's joining us this morning. I'll say Walt Leger from the governing body of the commission, and Andrew's on with us. Welcome, guys. So yesterday was a pretty good day for us, I think. We had the opportunity to make the recommendation to reopen in phase one. The governor approved that, and it looks like we got off to a really good start. I monitored the properties throughout the day in terms of how many people were showing up. That was kind of an unknown for us. And the reports that I started getting yesterday afternoon and last night were very positive in terms of the hygiene and sanitation efforts, and the fact that a lot of the customers were wearing masks. I think that's remarkable. So if you guys don't mind, I'd just kind of like to go around the room and have you update us on your properties, what you saw, and if there were any issues. Baron, could I start with you?
Sure. Yeah, hey, congrats to everybody. I think it was a great day in Louisiana yesterday. Volume-wise, I think volumes for us overall for the entire day looked favorable. We had lines at all three casinos, Lake Charles, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, upon opening. If there was a challenge in the day, it was initially with the security staff, getting used to protocol for the questionnaires to the guests, taking of the temperatures. But I think after, an hour into that, they were able to expedite the procedures, understand that a little bit better, and deal with the lines more expediently. So, a couple systems hiccups that were anticipated. You can't go 100% clean on these things, but our IT teams did a great job working through those. Regulators, LSP did a great job assisting us on everything. It was a tight frame getting our cash into our buildings. LSP did a great job assisting with us, getting that audited and things. So hats off to everybody, you guys. I think it was a great day for Louisiana. Everything you picked up from a press standpoint, all eyes were on us yesterday.
Great. Barry, what'd you see on the ground in Bossier City?
Well, I echo Barron almost word for word. I think we had tremendous enthusiasm and excitement about the reopening. We had a line when we opened the doors, but what struck me the most was the tremendous cooperation of everybody involved, from this body to the Gaming Control Board to the state police, to our team members and to our guests. Everyone recognized that we're all in this together, and we had almost no issues. When you have volumes like we had yesterday, you expect a few problems, but there virtually were none. And so on the technical side, a couple system issues, some phone line connectivity problems and things like that we expected to clean up. But everyone was very prepared when we opened. We ran tests on the guest experience, how it would feel to come in and go through the questions, get your temperature taken, use some hand sanitizer, be offered a mask, go onto the floor, make sure all the machines worked as they were supposed to, that your card worked, that you could get your points, that you could do all those things, redeem comps, everything, and all the preparation paid off and made for a very smooth and exciting reopening day. Again, a great day for Louisiana.
That's really good news. About what percentage of the customers were wearing masks, Barry? Do you know? Have a sense?
Yeah, I felt in viewing it, it seemed about half the customers came in with a mask. And of the remainder that didn't bring in a mask, we offered a mask, and about half of those guests accepted a mask. So I would say we ended up with about 3/4 of the guests wearing a mask, as well as, of course, all the employees.
Great. Vincent, I know that Boyd is starting today. You guys are phasing in over the course of the week. Have y'all had any issues in getting to this point?
No, sir. We're planning to open tomorrow. I think our press release is kind of midday, and no hiccups. We've got the PPE equipment that we were looking for. We've also looks like we're going to have the cameras. I'm not sure if we'll have them installed for the go live, but the thermal cameras. So we're ready to go. Probably could have done it sooner, but we wanted to really lay everything out and make sure we had all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So we're comfortable with our decision, and certainly look forward to tomorrow. I'm a little jealous that I'm a little late to the party, but I think we did the right thing in a sense.
You're not that late. 2 days isn't too late. I think it's really smart that we're taking a somewhat cautious and conservative approach, and I think it makes customers feel better. It's not just about maintaining a sanitized facility, but they have to feel safe, as do your employees. And we've heard from some casino employees since we made the announcement last week. Wade, what's the view from where you sit?
Similar, a lot of anticipation and a lot of media inquiries. Reporters were walking the properties yesterday and calling here for feedback and commentary. And we reiterated the same thing that's been the guiding principle for this task force and others, that safety first. So just asking for patience and, cooperation, and we'll all anxiously wait, the numbers and see how they lead into the weekend.
Great. I was in touch with both Golden Nugget yesterday and the Caesars property in Bossier City, and both were very positive reports. In both cases, they said that it did not feel like a a Monday crowd, more like a Friday crowd or a Thursday crowd, and it was pretty consistent throughout the day. One of the areas that I think we have to be very aware of is when we reach capacity on our gaming floors, let's make certain that when people are lining up to get in, that we're doing the social distancing. That was an issue before we suspended gaming operations, and we just have to make sure that we don't have an unintended consequence of getting people too close together when they're either trying to get to, gaming devices or trying to get in the door, either way. So, Stan, what are you hearing from your folks?
Similar reports. Again, the support was phenomenal. All the games came up as expected. Norbert and his team were reaching out just to double check and make sure everything was going well. So much appreciation there. I'm not aware of any locations, truck stops that decided not to open yesterday. And likewise, volume was strong. We had several properties where people were lined up waiting to get in the morning, and then throughout the day, capacity for players with waiting lines, waiting to get in at several properties. We stayed on the phone all weekend, answered as many questions as we could, disseminated all the information that we could. No one who called in didn't get a call back to get their questions answered. And to the point earlier, the screening process is the newest, more complicated procedure that we're trying to get instituted. And yesterday was as challenging as we had as expected. We're continuing to work on that throughout today. Regarding masks, I would say it's about the same. About 50% of the folks had masks on. A few accepted the masks that we provided. But all in all, I'd say about 50%, maybe a little bit less as of yesterday with the properties that I visited throughout the day.
Great. Art, what are you seeing down here?
Chairman, same thing. Everything seemed to go very smooth in opening. We did have some crowds during the day, and we opened around 8 o'clock in the morning. We kind of waited to settle down a little bit, and the crowds were strong. Everything seemed to go real well. As Stan pointed out, getting used to taking the temperatures and getting to understand the equipment was a little bit of a hassle in the beginning, but it worked out throughout the day. Half the people, as I said, came in with masks. We've seen a lot more take the masks though than probably half. So we probably ended up, 80% or so of the people in the casino were wearing masks, either ones that they brought or what we gave them. Everybody was practicing social distancing. So it went real well. I mean, the only I imagine point that came up was, we had a lot of couples that wanted to sit next to one another sharing a machine, and didn't understand the fact that they got out of the same car, but they couldn't be at the same machine. So that was our only, issue. But other than that, it worked out pretty good.
And I think we sort of anticipated that. We talked about it during the course of one of our recent meetings. And, these are temporary conditions, and hopefully we're not going to have them permanently. So we should be able to work through these initial problems. Ned, what do you see in the Northeast Louisiana?
Everything was favorable. It was kind of echoing what everybody else said. That the people were just kind of confused on that they had to stay